There's a strange head in my house. I came home to this. Sam II. That, yeah. Just deserves mentioning. This is the kind of world I live in. I know you would think that I would be really freaked out by this because it's very mannequin adjacent and like I can't look at it too long, but because it's just a head, doesn't weird me out as much. Also, I don't know if we've discussed on my channel, but I don't like mannequins. I'm the ones that look really realistic and wax figures. They really creep me out. Hall of Presidents, definitely my least favorite place. Anyway, that wasn't at all what I was going to talk about in this video, but when you sit down and there's a head next to you, you just feel like you have to talk about it. What I actually came to talk about is a new CW show that started this week, I think, called The Outpost. It is a fantasy show that takes place in some sort of fantasy realm. Only one episode out so far, so I don't necessarily know a lot about the world or the story. But what I do know about is the group that created it. So there's this group called Arrowstorm Entertainment, and I've been following them for years. They are an independent film company. I helped crowdfund one of their earlier films called Mythica, which is a fantasy realm story about a girl who wants to be a sorcerer and her magical powers, and then her journey with a sort of classic fantasy, you've got a rogue and you have a fighter, that sort of group. And there's 5 Mythica films, and I funded in part all of them, and I own all of them digitally. I never sprung for the DVD, but I do own all the digital versions of it. I also own a couple other of Arrowstorm Entertainment's digital films. I really enjoy their storytelling, and I like the big fantasy worlds that they create. And Mythica, especially because it is over 5 films, has a deep, rich history. And so I noticed that they were producing a new series. They've been sort of talking and hinting about this for a while. And then it turned out that The Outpost is on the CW, which is my favorite channel on TV, because I am a sucker for everything the CW puts out that has anything fantastical at all. I love their superhero shows. Their whole DC verse is great. I love the vampire shows. Supernatural is a show I should have quit years ago, and I still haven't and probably won't until it's completely done. And even Riverdale, which doesn't necessarily have a supernatural element, but definitely has like a weird dark side, I've gotten pretty into. So the new show is called The Outpost, and it follows this girl named Talon, who is a dark blood, which is interesting too, because in the CW universe, there's also these Nightbloods in another show called The 100. I don't think that they have any correlation at all. It's just fascinating to me. So she's sort of an elven type character. She even had pointed ears. And basically what you learn in the first episode is that her entire village was massacred, and she has spent the last 13 years trying to hunt down the people who did it, and has tracked them to this remote outpost in a corner of the realm. Man, what a fantasy word the realm is. Has everyone ever really thought about that? Like, oh yes, well, I just traveled to the far reaches of the realm. People don't say that in real life. Like, there were kingdoms, but we've never had realms in that same way. And so she's at this outpost, and she's trying to find the people who massacred her family. And that's basically as far as the first episode has gotten, but I'm already enjoying it, mostly because it stars a woman who's pretty awesome. She just beats up bad guys like it's her job. And they're also introduced another female character who intrigues me, because I think that she is kind of a swashbuckler, kind of conniving person. She has that sort of thief mentality. She's seen playing cards, but it's pretty clear that she maybe swindles people. And I like her. I like what I've seen from the character so far, and they have introduced the mythos in an interesting way, in that I do feel like there's a lot there that I haven't seen yet, but I don't necessarily feel blindsided. I feel interested and I want to learn a little bit more. So I'm looking forward to seeing how the rest of this pans out, and I'm hoping that the series gets picked up long term, because I love the Arrowstorm Entertainment people. They're super nice. They put out really good stuff. Their crowdfunding campaigns are always so fun, and they're just good people. So I'm hoping that this show will be successful and that will help lift them up. So if it's something you want to check out, highly recommend The Outpost. It's on CW. I will link to the CW website down there as if you need help with that. I will also link to Arrowstorm Entertainment's website, because you should check that out. Watch trailers for all their other awesome independent films. You can buy them all from their store, or you could come over and hang out with me and watch them with me. Just saying. I'll see you tomorrow.